brain. All right, you guys ready? Take two.
Good to go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Different Fools video. This is not the second time I did this. This is the first, I swear. I'm not lying like a bunch of cedh players in tournaments right now. What's going on? We got TJ and we got Ben. Today we're going to talk about sultai TEVESH Thrasios, because apparently Thrasios and Guy's Cradle are good in 2025. Who would have thunk?
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Doing good. It's a good Memorial Day weekend. Did a whole lot of nothing. Watched a lot of Magic. Didn't get to play much.
Yeah, me too.
But...
I got 8 hours in Final Fantasy VII Remake today and yesterday.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I love it. I can't wait to end this so we can play. So TJ, first on the channel, kind of what set you get into Magic, and when did you get into cedh?
Yeah, so I started playing Magic Khans of Tarkir. So not exactly sure what year that was. I was still in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Kids at summer camp were playing. So bought a starter deck at Newberry Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that Morph was the only thing you do in Magic. Like, I thought that was it. So started picking that up, and then got to college, and we were just playing kitchen table Magic. Like, I had a 60-card deck. Somebody else had a 40-card deck. Someone was jamming, like, a commander deck. We had no idea what we were doing. Then I saw this commander thing. It looked pretty fun. So went out during the pandemic, bought a pre-con at Target, started jamming at the LGS when things opened back up. And then down in the basement of the LGS, there were some guys that, like, sheltered themselves off from everybody else. I thought they were a cool group of guys, wanted to see what they were doing. They're like, oh, we're playing cedh. And I was like, I have this Fierce Guardianship I got in a pre-con. Can I come join the club? And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll show you what to do.
So
started playing
in the basement.
cedh from that.
Play cedh down here.
Right, exactly, right. So got in with them. They taught me the ropes, showed me how to do everything, and I've been playing probably 2 years and then jamming tournaments for the past year and a half up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, me too, kind of. Yeah, the last 2 years I've been jamming tournaments. That's so cool. What about you, Ben?
I beat TJ into Magic by just a couple of months. I started during Journey into Nyx, so right before Khans of Tarkir.
Cool.
I started playing kind of the same of really scuffed rules. We thought that tapping for a color of mana meant you search your library for a basic land of that type and put it into play. So
kitchen table Magic at its finest, right?
Guild gates were broken. What can I say? But
oh, that's so funny.
Got into Commander about the time that the Marin deck was released, and that's where I started on. Distinctly have a lot of positive memories with that deck, and then started playing cedh around or just before 2020 and COVID. It was more of a result of just power creep in our friends' commander group, and mainly driven by one of the guys in it. And it eventually became just a really optimized deck. So I guess if you were going by the bracket system, bracket 4.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the entry in. It was playing Satan, Crozon Protector, Druid Storm. Really relied on me not understanding the way some rules interaction worked. But started playing real cedh and tournaments in about 2023 with the Mox Masters circuit on ROG side primarily at the time. Yeah, been jamming in Massachusetts since.
That's so cool. We all kind of have the same thing. My first tournament was the Mox Masters. It was like the third one, and I loved it. I was on butt-ass Tivit. But we're not going to talk about that guy. So
Esper, who needs it?
Yeah, so you guys, TEVESH Thrasios, you guys are fucking doing work with this deck. And I don't know all the stats in front of me, but TEVESH Thrasios was, like, officially my first cedh deck. And this was, like, right when remember the database, when that was, like, a big thing? This is right before that was kind of a big thing, right? So I kind of, like, net decked a little bit, and I was playing every type of card you can imagine. This is before Hullbreaker was printed. Right before Hullbreaker was printed. That's about when I first started playing Magic. And I was playing Doomsday stuff and Necropotent stuff and Adnon. I tried everything. And then we realized the best build in the database had 3 TEVESH Thrasios builds. And the best one to me was the Hullbreaker Displacer Kitten one. So I've been
Yeah.
on and off on that deck for 3 years, and recently post-ban, I've been on a Thrasios build / TEVESH Deep Glow Skate type of build, and TEVESH is my favorite commander, hence the name of the podcast, right?
Right.
So I've always loved TEVESH, but I am looking at this cradle build, and I believe this cradle build's probably better. Like, just looking at it, like, I'm thinking about just putting Breeze Caller in, because I have a lot of games where I try to ultimate TEVESH, and it just doesn't happen or whatever, and I have 6 Thralls laying around, and I love casting Enduring Vitality, right? I have Cradle in the deck, but in a crop rotation, but it's not built around Cradle. So I'm thinking about adding Breeze Caller and the Candelabra, adding a couple of those effects, even though I don't want to go all into the Cradle effect, but you guys are cooking, so why sultai Thrasios right now? Is that pretty much what the deck is? Like, TEVESH is just for the black?
Yeah, TEVESH, the real, if you want to dumb it down, the concept of the deck is, what if Rogsai had Demonic Tutor? Right? That was kind of what we were...
Rog Thras, you mean?
You know, yeah, what if Rog Thras had Demonic Tutor in it, right? So we were looking, I was the one who first brought it up. I was like, the bans had just hit, Ben was rocking cedh, I was playing Dark Thras. I missed Dockside. Ben misses Dockside. What's the next closest thing to Dockside? It's a Gaia's Cradle, right? Like, let's just make a ridiculous amount of mana. So I brought up the idea of TEVESH Thrasios, and then one of our buddies, Logan, was like, what if we just jam this full of, like, untappers for Cradle and Earthcraft and, like, all of that good stuff? And so that's kind of where the antithesis of the deck came from, was like, let's just do this really sick turbo build that can still grind on the Thrasios plan. It can also just put Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation on the stack, turn 2, shake my hand, and we're
That's
good.
what I like about this build. Also, I think it's underrated. Everyone's horny for Rog Thras and Dog Thras right now. This build just goes, damn, you hit me with a Toxic Deluge. Thassa's Oracle. The other decks don't have that. Yeah. They don't have that pivot. Like, they have Breach, maybe. Some of them do. But really just okay, I just have a Demonic Tutor, and I'll just cast Thorkel here for my backup plan. And I love Thorkel as the backup plan. I hate it as the main plan. Like, Dimir decks, Esper decks, it's all they want to do, and it sucks. Like, no. I'm Cradle. I'm doing my thing. I have tutors for the Cradle. Actually, good tutors. I have Demonic Tutor for Gaia's Cradle. Not the other Cradle decks have that. They're playing fucking... What's the... Expedition map. You got all those weird ones.
Right. The fact that my Demonic Tutor can go find Cradle, but can also just go find win conditions, can go find backup. Like, it's been a godsend. We can also resolve Culling Ritual.
Oh.
Like... Culling Ritual, and we don't care about it. I've plenty of times I've Culling Writ 10 from myself and 2 from everybody else, and I'm still putting a win on the stack that turn. Because we make so much mana.
Gotcha. Have y'all played the other Thrasios Cradle decks, or y'all just been all in on this one?
So we encountered a bit of a overreaction from our local scene where we got 3 or 4 people in addition to the core that built it to swap over to the deck, and then everybody else really went hard with finding hate for Cradle. Like, we're talking strip mine.
Assassin's Trophy strip mine.
Yeah. So it felt like in order to beat that, I had to be a little bit faster, and so I tried out playing Rog Thras. And I've since swapped back, like, as the active deck that I'm playing, to TEVESH, primarily for the tutor access and the resilience of TEVESH. It's really hard to interact with on the board, and it just constantly churns out Cradle bodies.
Unless someone has a flyer, like, it's... Yeah. I have all these thralls. Dude, like, my main game plan in my deck is kind of the same thing, is... Well, obviously your Thrasios deck, I'm on Training Grounds, but my main game plan I look for every time, can I jam a turn 1 or turn 2 TEVESH? Because if I can do that and people are sitting behind Ristic Studies and not doing anything, I'm taking all these commanders turn 5. There's nothing you can do about it. Also, a lot of the games I play, I'm on Kennen Basalt. A lot of games I win with Kennen Basalt. So Kennen is one of the most popular decks. So it literally just goes, grab your Kennen, grab your irrelevant piece, grab this. In a tournament, when the first tournament I played it in, Madrolta, cedh, and a Kennen. I was like, oh, your Madrotha deck's really cool, buddy. I'll take my Madrotha. I'll play my land from the bin, and then I'll play my Basalt from the bin, and then I'll take that guy's Kennen. I win. And they're like,
Yeah,
That's gross.
oh, shit. Like, yeah, that deck does that all the time. Or, oh, we got to hit TEVESH. I'm like, oh, damn, TEVESH is at 6. I'm going to cast a Deep Glow Skate for 5, floating 4 mana. Is that cool? I'm going to double everything. I'm going to double my One Ring. I'm going to double my Orc Army. I'm going to double every counter thing I have, my TEVESH alt, and I win the game. That's fun, right?
Deep Glow Skate's a drug.
Oh,
Like, that is such a
great.
cool
It's probably
card that
cope.
I wish...
It's probably cope. But for me, I'm not taking TEVESH Thrassios to tournaments anytime soon. I've done that. For me, it's too slower. But let's get into y'all's build. So before we do the deck tech, I really want to... So we talked about the comparisons, right? So you think it's probably a turn slower than Rog Thras? And like, what is the deck trying to mulligan for? What's the deck looking for generally?
I think the benefit of having TEVESH and Thrasios in the zone as opposed to a Rog or a Yoshi is that we can operate on 2 different game plans.
Yeah.
Like, I can look at a hand and say, this is a TEVESH hand. You know, I've got Dark Ritual for my turn 2 TEVESH. I've got rocks. Like, I've got ways to abuse TEVESH. Or here's my Biomancer's Familiar, my Training Grounds. Here are some things that really help out with the Thrasios plan. So we can look at our mulligans and see, where is it skewing? Is it skewing to a TEVESH game? Is it skewing to a Thrasios game? And that kind of helps open things up, because it's not just, you know, both of our commanders do something. Yes, TEVESH is there for the colors, but he is an engine, he is card draw, he is advantage, he is all of those things.
He's
right?
more of a Crom as a partner instead of like a Silas, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
Silas
absolutely.
does absolutely nothing ever, and then Crom will help him to draw cards sometimes.
Yeah, and I am totally fine if you want to use a Force of Negation on a TEVESH Thought, but spoiler alert, no one has ever Force of Negation TEVESH Thought, because there are bigger, better things to worry about, and I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to make dudes.
You know,
I literally say it in tournaments. I'm like, make 2 dudes past the
unless
turn.
unless you're winning, they don't. You know what fucking sucks is a goddamn Spell Pierce. That hurts my soul, because I'll do it like turn 1, dog. I go all in. I'll go fucking LED, fucking... Not LED, sorry, like Mana Vault, tap my Mana Vault, Dark Ritual. I go all in TEVESH, and they go Spell Pierce, and I'm like,
well,
all right, I guess I gotta do the Thrasios grind. Fine.
Right, get up, go use the bathroom, grab some dinner, come
In 2
back.
turns, I'm back in the game. I gotta cast my Thrasios,
Right.
my Training Grounds, right? So, what you're saying for this deck, for Sultai, you have a good backup plan, and your other commander does make bodies and draw cards.
Yeah.
So I try to put my podcast on my channel, on newer players getting into this, because a lot of people are like outside looking in. Why would I play Thras if Rog Thras is the best deck? So I kind of want to gear this podcast towards that. So if you're somebody wanting to play this deck, why am I playing this deck over the other Thrasios decks? What do you got, Ben?
Really, we've touched on it a little bit, but it's the combination of the tutors and the inevitability of TEVESH. It's really hard to destroy a land. You have Beseiju, and that's kind of it for the most part in most decks. So Cradle's hard to interact with, and so the way people normally go about interacting with Cradle decks is by wiping the board. The best way to deal with Rog Thras is to hit them with the Toxic Deluge or a
That's about it.
Culling Ritual.
Yeah.
And so what we offer with TEVESH is a way to always be able to rebuild from that, and rebuild very quickly. The ability to generate 2 bodies consistently every single turn has been the biggest draw to TEVESH. It's... I rarely activate the draw ability. I'm rarely sacrificing a creature.
If you have
normally
to.
I just...
Yeah.
If I have to, I will, but the primary game plan's always
Make
+2.
bodies. Yeah.
Yep.
Or, oh shit, he's accidentally at 12. I guess I'll fucking take some commanders. Yeah.
And
Yeah, and the amount of times that I've had a TEVESH at 10, and people are like, we have to attack it, we have to kill it. I'm like, I won't ultimate. The amount of times I've let TEVESH get up to like 12, 13, and just haven't ulted just so that I can keep TEVESH around, like, that's a deal I'm willing to make. Because sure, stealing everyone's commanders is backbreaking, but I'd rather sit here +2 every single turn maybe get some card draw and keep Tevesh around to build that
Yeah,
engine.
so what you guys are saying for inevitability, you're saying, hey, we're not blown out to a board wipe because we play Culling Ritual. Our backup plan is just to cast our Planeswalker Commander, make bodies, and carry on. The Rock Thras and the Dog Thras decks, you fucking Toxic Deluge, they're cooked for 3 turns. Is that what you mean when you say inevitable?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. That makes sense. I like that a lot, actually. I might switch over to this build.
Yeah, because we're fine to wipe the board. We're fine to interact on that axis because we know that we're going to be able to build it back up.
Yeah. You have a backup, 100%. So Thrasios is the name of the game, right? I want my Thrasios. I want my training grounds. I want my Bioman. I want my Cradle. And then kind of how does the deck play after like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3? Is it just play bodies? Well, we're about to get in the deck. I haven't really looked at the deck that much, but we're still on Chatterstorm. Like, what's kind of the similar cards that the other Thrasios decks are playing right now that are cooking with?
I mean, we're definitely on the Earthcraft plan.
We're on Earthcraft.
We're on Basic Forest, Basic Island, throw a Wild Growth on it, resolve Earthcraft, and just churn those bodies into Thrasios activations. We have Candelabra. We're even on Magus of Candelabra. Black gets us access to Tyvar. So
Tyvar's really good
can activate immediately. So, land your Enduring Vitality, uptick Tevesh. There's 3 mana right there, right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Your Vitality paid for itself.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and get in the deck tech. I could talk about this deck all day long. Was there anything else before I start looking at cards? Is there any other reason? Like, it's inevitable. It's in sultai. We're in black. Is there anything else you would tell a newer player sleeving this deck up?
I think Ben, you go for it, and then I'll chime in.
I think the best thing I can say is it's really easy once you get going to find a way to win. With the access to the hyper efficient tutors, you're always able to go and get a perfect piece.
Yeah.
So when I was playing Rog Thras, I would have to string together these. They were really fun and cool, Displacer Kit and Cloud of Fairies lines, and you can still do that in this deck, but you very often don't even need to, because you'll find a much faster, more streamlined way to get access to your main pieces, especially Breeze Caller. It's really easy to assemble a Breeze Caller win with this deck.
Really? And that's 6 creatures, Breeze Caller, and Talon Gates, infinite mana? Draw your deck with Thrasios, Thassa's Oracle?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I like it. All right, let's get into it, because I have a lot of questions. Let's go ahead and share.
I have a lot of questions, and it's my deck, so we're in the same boat.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you before we get into this. What have you guys I know you guys have top 16 some tournaments. What's kind of the stats for this deck? This is a real deck, right? I think a top 10, top 15 deck for sure. Yeah,
so I will come out and say I am not a tournament god. I'm just the guy that likes showing up, throwing $25 at a local, and having a good time with my friends. Right? Got a couple top 10s to my name, but nothing crazy. Right? My elo is not off the charts by any means. Right? Logan has a win on this deck at a 50-player local tournament. We've had a couple of top cuts. I top cut on this deck. We're not going to talk about the fact that I top cut with 2 points and no wins. A top cut is a top cut. It counts. But yeah, we're hoping to bring this to a bunch of events throughout the year. I know Ben hasn't been able to jam as much in tournaments recently, but he'll be sleeving it back up. We play in a 2K with 50, 60 people once a month up here. Okay. So we bring it there. We'll bring it hopefully out to Pittsburgh for that big 20K that's coming up as well.
Okay, so y'all are cooking. So it's definitely underrated right now, but I think once it starts, the problem I see with this deck is the Rog Thras is probably a top 2-3 deck right now, and then Dog Thras is cooking. So the second they see you guys, they're gonna think the same thing and blow up your Cradle before you guys are even developed. And it's guys, I'm not playing that deck. Granted, this deck might be better than Dog Thras. Who knows, right? But
yeah, we'll definitely draw some of the pain points. If people are packing interaction for Rog Thras, it hits us too. Right, but we do have that brewer's advantage of this is, this could be a Nas deck, this could be a Necro deck, this could be a Hullbreaker Horror, Wandering Archaic, High Fate Trickster, Big Fatties, Big Mana deck, right?
Yeah.
Like we have that. If we're going into an event, 200 people, you don't know who I am, I have that brewer's advantage, right? Maybe if it's a local and everyone knows who we are, that might be a little bit of a different story.
Yeah.
But the brewer's advantage is definitely
I think you guys would probably do better in a bigger tournament than your locals, right? Because they know what's going on. It's like, oh, he's just playing TEVESH THRASIOS, and then you're like, cool, I win.
Yeah,
can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the Knights of the Round Table, is that your YouTube channel or is that just your group?
It's our testing group up in Mass.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, I got you.
a couple of guys who go to the LGS, I was like, hey, let's talk about decks and prep for tournaments, and then it's just us sending memes the whole time. We're not serious. It's just dudes like to hang out, play Magic, play poker, chill,
Right.
get sweatshirts made.
Right. So I don't have to read the commanders. Everyone knows what these guys do, especially if you watch my channel. Tyvar on my list is like so goddamn insane because I do like a bunch of crazy instant speed shenanigans. So I love Tyvar in this list. Tyvar and Vitality, isn't it just insane for these type of decks?
Oh yeah.
They're probably the MVPs,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, Ben, I'll let you take the Tyvar, the Magus, Enduring Vitality, all that stuff.
Yeah, so I was the one who initially had the hard pitch for Tyvar. One of the decks I used to play was Tyam, and so Tyvar was one of my favorite cards in that deck.
Mm-hmm.
All three of his abilities are extremely relevant here.
Mm-hmm.
Giving things haste is super strong with Enduring Vitality.
Yep.
It's also really strong with Magus of the Candelabra, which is just second. It becomes second Candelabra at that point.
Yeah.
And arguably even better because you can be untapped by Tyvar. It also counts for a mana for Cradle. It's a creature too. So the plus ability is sometimes just one extra mana has been enough to make or break a line, and then being able to reanimate, most especially a Boral Breeze Caller, is extremely huge out of a -2.
I didn't even think of that. Damn. So what 2-drops are we on? Bowmaster, the Tuco, Thoracle? That'd be funny. Cloud and Fairies.
Oh, it's definitely come up of like, let's mill a Thoracle. I'm just sitting with the Tainted Pact in hand. If you got it, you got it.
Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah.
So I feel like Tyvar is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this deck.
It really
and
is.
it's one of the justifications to play black, right?
Yeah.
Like the biggest question that we have gotten is, why not play red and play Roger? Why not play white and play Yoshi, right?
Tyvar.
So it's almost like we have to justify reasons to play.
Tyvar Culling Ritual. Found it.
Yeah, Tyvar, Culling Ritual, Demonic Tutor.
It really is.
I found it. Yeah, we'll get down those in a second. So we got our dorks. Y'all are playing a lot of dorks. Magus, which is sick. I love are we on Flood Collar, I assume? Yep, we're on Flood Collar. I love this combo. It's just like casually so good. I play a lot of Glarb. So it's just, that's what you want to see. You want to see Flood Collar, your Mockingbirds, you got your Birds of Paradise. You guys gonna sell me on this card. They tried to sell me this on Rog Thras. I wasn't down with it. Is this card just like the best Cradle card?
It is.
Well, not Cradle. I mean like the best, like you're trying to make bodies for cheap and then you can offspring it and then you can untap it if you need to with Retraction Helix lines.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to sell me on this card.
It's 2 mana, look 4 cards deep, easily abusable with Displacer Kitten.
Yep.
Right? If you have Displacer Kitten in this, the odds of you hitting something castable and then flickering this and going again and going again and going again, it is an otter for Valley Flood Caller. So if you got Vitality out, you're untapping this for more mana with Flood Caller. The Offspring doesn't come up a whole lot, but when it does, it's just another body for Cradle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It also is kind of going back to one of the points we were talking about earlier with other decks gearing tech towards Rog Thras, with that being super prevalent. One big stacks effect that I've seen that can really heavily affect your game plan is a Curse Totem. And sometimes you can just have 10 spare mana. And, okay, I'll dump an extra 4 into the Thunder Trap Trainer, so now I'm digging 8 cards deep I'm sure to find a bounce spell or a hard tutor there.
Yeah, yeah. Like for my deck, I play Narset for this spot because drawing cards is really good. But you guys, this is more of like a proactive deck than a reactive, I assume. We haven't gotten to instance yet. I just assume like you're all about your game plan, right? That's why you're on stuff like this other than Narset.
Yeah, we want to be able to protect what we're doing. We want to be able to stop game-ending spells, but we also want to progress our game plan faster than others.
Also, it's a 2-mana creature.
Yeah.
Like that part is relevant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Fairy Mastermind's sick. Is there any lines with Eternal Witness?
Yes, there's a really basic and easy one of just snap an Eternal Witness with a Guy's Cradle out. The way that works is you have a Guy's Cradle that taps for 5 mana, snap, and Eternal Witness, and a land that taps for blue. And I will snap the Eternal Witness, untapping the Cradle and the land, tap for enough mana to replay Eternal Witness, getting back snap,
infinite green mana.
and then you can kind of just chain it from there.
Yep.
Okay.
There's also
I like that.
kind of going off of some of the other synergies with Displacer Kitten. Eternal Witness and Displacer Kitten can be very powerful in and of itself.
Ooh.
Yep, Eternal Witness, Displacer Kitten, Lotus Petal, and then like Dark Ritual.
Yep.
Is infinite mana that way as well.
Okay. All right.
So just like we're not on Brewmaster, Devoted Druid, we're not on Kin and Basalt, but we do have a lot of like really textured, layered ways of making infinite mana that are also just really strong pieces on their own.
Yeah, like a Spell Seeker. Is that just for Demonic Tutor?
It can be for whatever is going to
Crop
get the line there.
Chain Pact. Yeah. Get removal.
Yeah, we used to be on Demonic Consultation as well. Right now we're testing just with Tainted Pact, so there isn't like a formal Spellseeker line in the way that you can go Spellseeker with Kitten, get Dark Writ, get Tainted Pact, etc., etc. But it's still just it's a body for Cradle that goes and finds one of our most impactful spells, whatever it might be at the time.
Okay. I got you. And the Metamorph, what's this for? One Rings, I guess.
Metamorph is mainly in there as a good card. Being able to clone sometimes something like a Cloud of Fairies is just nice to have.
Okay, another Kitten, another Flood Color, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. And then we got Argspawn, Seaborn Muse, he's the best card in the deck. I really like Chatterstorm in this. I don't like Chatterstorm in the Bant because Bant's slower. Rock Thracid's great. I love it in this deck because like we're on Valley. Are you on Born Upon a Wind? Yeah.
Yeah, Valley, Born Upon.
How many times is like this?
If I'm not casting Chatterstorm at instant speed, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, how many times have you been like, all right, cool, Storm 7, Chatterstorm, no one's gonna counter it, and you're like, sweet.
Yeah.
Lots of times.
Oh, that's so good. Diabolic Intent. Can we talk about this card for a second? Nature's Rhythm.
It's so good.
Who the fuck is smoking crack in goddamn Wizards?
I spent way too much money on a foil showcase copy opening, pre-release weekend, and do not care.
Dude.
Like it is just such a good card.
I saw this
waited
card
2 weeks.
Really, I saw this card and I was like, this is a mistake. They're like, oh, that green mana. I'm like, you guys don't understand. This is a 1-card combo in green decks. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Kennen, Thrasios decks, mono green decks. What are you talking about? This is like, I'm gonna get my thing. I'm gonna do this. Okay, from the graveyard, I'm gonna do this. Like. This card's so
we'll
goddamn good.
go X's 2, grab a Cloud of Fairies, untap Cradle.
This is probably
have enough mana to harmonize it and get Displacer.
It's probably the best card in the last year that's been printed. Like
easily.
It's so fucking good. Holy, people don't understand. I've lost in this card. They just go Nature's Rhythm, X is like 2, and got something like untap their Cradle and then tap their Cradle, harmonize it, and then wins. And it's like, oh, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. Culling Ritual, like I like this deck because you don't care about Culling Ritual sometimes. Like you'll Culling Ritual your own shit, and you'll just go TEVESH or Oppo or Phyrexian Metamorph. It doesn't matter. Culling Ritual's so fucking strong. Assassin's Trophy, is that just for other Cradle decks? Because you guys see a lot of hate.
That was a recent tech slot when we went and played in Hartford.
Mhm.
You know, we thought we were going to see a lot of Roger. So not only sniping other cradles, but also if something's stopping us from the cradle plan, we want to be able to just have a no-nonsense answer to
Yeah,
it.
I think going forward, it's definitely the right play because after Thras on the weekend, everyone's like, "Oh my god, this card's so good!" It like almost went undefeated in every tournament I went to with the big players. So I feel like Thras is going to be super relevant in the future.
Yep.
We got Born About to Win, Tutors, like you said, Calling the Weak, sick. Retraction Helix combos, Corda Calling. Yeah, this card. That's the card I was thinking of earlier. This town ain't big enough.
So good.
We're playing so many standard cards in the CDH deck, it's not even funny.
Sultai Otters.
Your $2 uncommon. Everyone's trying this card out, and it's actually doing a lot of work because it's 3 less if you target one of your opponent's things, but also you can target your stuff too, right?
Yep.
So it's just, I've seen so much work with this card.
Bounce the one thing that I want to get back to hand and recast, and then bounce the one thing on your board that's stopping me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so good. It's just like the modal cards nowadays where I can do multiple things at once if I want to. Just, there's so many different things you can do with this card. Right? Grim Monolith, that's spicy. I don't see Grim Monolith in a lot of these decks, but I mean, it's mana, right? Expedition.
Yeah, Grim Monolith is mainly in there as we want as many ways to just get out of TEVESH as possible. And make sure we can hit that point.
Yeah, TEVESH, and then you have the X spells, right? You got Corda Calling, I'm assuming you're on Finale. Even like turn 1 Grim, turn 2 Culling Ritual. Fuck your opponents up. All right, I'm going to play this Thrasios and TEVESH turn 2. Like, I've done that in my deck. And it's just backbreaking.
Same thing with Mana Vault. Like, I'm fine to throw away a Mana Vault to a Culling Ritual because worst case scenario, I get blown out and I'm not taking 1 every single turn. And best case scenario, I just made 10 mana on turn 2 or turn 3.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it pays for itself. You go 1 mana, Vault, tap it for 3, Culling Ritual, get that mana back with Culling Ritual. Like, it's just like, it's a super ritual, Wishclaw, I like. So what turn is this deck trying to win? Like turn 4, turn 5? Is it a turn slower than probably the faster decks? Is that kind of why we're on Wishclaw? Because I know it's turbo decks play this card, not the slower controller decks. That's what I'm asking.
I would say 3 to 5 is about the turn range that you typically see us trying to start really pushing. We have a nice 1, 2, 3 curve a lot of the time while we're playing.
Okay.
And one of the nice things about Wishclaw is you can go and get a Culling Ritual, for example, and blow it up. Metamorph can become a copy of it. There's some subtle ones, and it's also you can sneak it down early and just let it sit there until you're actually ready to go off. And a 1 mana, we don't run a ton of interaction spells, and so also being able to just hold up 1 mana at instant speed tutor for a counter spell if we need it.
Yeah,
is also very helpful.
I kind of want to talk about that for a second. I noticed we are light on interaction. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counter spells. So yeah, the normal deck plays about 10 or 11.
It was pulling teeth to get Force of Negation into the deck, so we were at 7 for a long time.
I might have been the one getting my teeth pulled.
I hate this card. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, you guys do make it up for interaction, right? You're on Erupticate and Assassin's Trophy and Force of Vigor. You're on some bounce spells. You're on Snap, right? So this deck is just I'm doing my thing, winning turn 3 to 5. It's not a mid-range. Well, I guess it's a mid-range deck. It's not a control deck by any means. But you're just playing enough that you need, right?
Yeah, and I think, maybe a pitfall for a newer player, right? And I heard someone, I forget where it was, but they were talking about, Sultai or Black X decks just want to jam early and often, and that's not always the best situation, right? So you could see a hand that has, unprotected win on turn 2. I'm probably not sending that 9 times out of 10
Right.
unless I, looked at the texture of the pod,
Mm-hmm.
seen what's been interacted with, right? Because we are in this sit on your stuff, get your draw engine set up kind of meta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine to sit and just crank through Thrasios activations. If the game is going close to time, that's completely fine with me because we have these engines that are proven to be so strong.
Right.
If I can geek out a win early, totally fine. But if I got to sit here and play the long game, totally fine with that as
Yeah,
well.
I have a problem with that too because like people say that about like Esper and Sultai, and it's like in my Esper deck, that's not true at all. Like not a lot of Esper decks play Ad Naz or Necro or any of that speed stuff because that's not what the archetype wants to do. This archetype doesn't want to go fast. This archetype wants to play creatures and hold up mana and then activate Thrasios. That's what the archetype wants to do. But in red, right, blue farm, that's kind of the awkward. How much of control we're playing? How much are I just have an Ad Naz in hand? Like that's what. Besides TEVESH, you don't have a lot of payoffs for coloring ritual, like random stuff. You don't have Necro like a lot of the black TEVESH Thrasios decks have. You don't have those other big dumb. Everyone's playing Peer into the Abyss. You guys don't play that bullshit, right?
No.
You're
Deflecting SWAT is too prevalent these days to risk playing a peer into the
Dude, I
abyss.
I threw a mini tournament the other day at my LGS, and some Urza cast a fucking 10 mana time stretch. You know what time stretch says? Target player takes 2 extra turns. And I was like, excuse me, I'm a deflecting spot that to myself. Thank you.
Yeah.
2 extra
Yep,
turns.
good game. Next round.
Oh boy.
Sorry, not you, my kid. All right, so enchantments. Cover Flower's really good. Training Grounds. We're on Bioman, right? I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Those effects are just so goddamn good. Wall Growth, Earthcraft. Going right to Itlamok. I thought this card was so trash. And then you read it. You know how easy it is to flip it? Y'all are probably flipping it the same turn you're casting it, right?
Especially with the 2 bodies from TEVESH.
Yeah.
That's like it's so nice being able to just go, okay, cool, I have Thrasios, 2 Thralls, and an Elvish Mystic.
Yeah, and you can
creatures.
find a creature with this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's just another cradle, and it's so goddamn good. Heuristics. All right, I'm gonna get in the sauce here. Let's look at these lands. I think this is where the money is. So we're on Emergent Zone, Cradle. Are we on that one colorless land that untaps Cradle?
Deserted Temple.
Deserted Temple.
Bottom center. There you go.
Yeah. So this is the money. Deserted Temple, Gemstones, Manamo, Misfire Village, Shifting Woodlands, Talon Gates, Emergent Zone. This is why Cradle is a deck. Just the land base, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll just crop rot a fucking Manamo and untap my fucking One Ring with my Seaborn Muse. Oh, I'll crop rotation my Misreg Village. I'll tap Misreg Village instant speed and make sure this next thing is not counterable. Shifting Woodlands. Damn, I'll make it a Guy's Cradle. Oh no, you destroyed my Guy's Cradle. I think the land base in these decks are so fucking strong. This is the reason why you play these decks, right? Green is just so good.
No, for
Green,
sure.
Simic, just in general with these lands.
I think the tough thing, and something definitely to look at in mulligans, is that the land base, because we are so chock full of utility, the colors can be unforgiving at times.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like the amount of times that I've looked down at a perfect hand and my 2 lands are Shifting Woodland and Misrise Village, as opposed to if it was Tropical Island Underground Sea, right, or Fetch.
Right.
We do run into those issues of like, okay, we have Ancient Tomb, Emergent Zone, and Desert Village, Desert Temple that just don't make colored mana, right? And we are pretty color intensive, and we're really green color intensive, right? So if we don't have Cradle yet, if we don't have a way to find Cradle, the colors are really important. So it's making sure that you smooth out,
right?
When you're fetching, getting the right things, taking those right actions to not just screw yourself.
But I mean, it's
having
the floor ceiling is very high, though. You're playing the best lands in the game to be doing, but you do have to suffer the early game. Is Earthcraft worth it in this deck, Ben? Just the island and the forest? Because we're on Tainted Pact?
I would absolutely say so. It's like, it's similar to how we were talking about Tyvar's really good with Enduring Vitality because it gives it haste, and your creatures, you can play Chatterstorm, and now all those creatures can tap. Earthcraft is the same thing, just condensed into one card. It has its trade-offs, like the fact that it has to be a basic land, similar to what we were saying with the color and the pips issues. Basic lands are real easy to get, but they're not very strong when it comes to producing varying colors, obviously.
Right.
So it's a bit tricky at times, but it is absolutely worth it, especially with also just having Displacer Kitten, Valley Flood Caller. There's a lot of subtle synergies to giving your creatures the ability to tap for mana.
Yeah, why is this card $140? Okay. Anyways.
The reserve list.
Anyways, I gotcha. All right, let's see. Is there any notable cards you guys aren't on that other decks are probably on in this? We got Battle, some cool Planeswalkers, Elves of Deep Shadow, Deathrite Shaman. Okay.
This is just like every sultai card
Cannon.
that I would ever want to play,
Yeah.
but can't play clear 100 card format, right?
Yeah. Whole Breacher, get out of here.
I think that
Level.
something that other Thrasios decks are often on is Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl and a Yavimaya.
Yeah, I like that synergy.
We've been on and off of them. It just depends on, those got cut for, I think, Opposition Agent and Assassin's Trophy or something along those lines. They got cut for additional interaction pieces because they were some of the weaker synergy points, but
Cyclonic Rift.
they're obviously not weak.
Ben, do you want to talk about Step Through? Because I know that's a card that you're really high on, and one that I'm probably putting back into the list pretty soon.
Step Through?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a sorcery. It's
sorcery.
3 blue.
Oh, the wizard cycling. Yeah. What wizards do we got?
Most of the
Spellseeker,
really important creatures
Floodcaller,
in this deck are wizards.
Historical. What else?
Breezy.
Breezecaller is a
all
wizard.
Right. You got me. Breezecaller is just the best way to win. But I mean, you guys are on Wishclaw, right? Wouldn't you just play like Imperial Seal over that?
Imp Seal is something that we've been thinking about, and kind of the big reason for Step Through in place of Imp Seal, for example, would be it's uncounterable, and it is putting it right into your hand, where Imp Seal would go to the top of the library.
Yeah. Okay.
It's also an instant speed thing with wizard cycling.
Yeah, Imp Seal can get anything, right? Compared to just 4 creatures, but I guess the wizards are irrelevant.
Yeah, it
gets
I
2
would say
win cons. It gets Flood Caller. Okay.
I would say the Breezecaller is probably the most important card in the entire deck.
Ooh, 6. Is it?
And it's
okay. That's what I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the most way you're winning? Probably is Breezecaller lines.
Yep. I would say that's the most common way that I've been able to convert games.
Okay.
I'm often tutoring for that with a demonic tutor, for example.
The great thing about starting your Breezecaller combo too is like you can not have Talon Gates in play and just have a bunch of creatures in a cradle, and you're fine because you're ripping these Thrasios activations. And say all in all between, Thrasios activation, Breezecaller, you're spending 2 mana, but you're making 6 off of Cradle. We keep every single land we hit off Thrasios on top.
Yep.
Right? So activate Thrasios, keep the land on top. It goes to the battlefield, activate Breezecaller, untap Cradle, go again. And then we go until we hit crop rotation for the Talon Gates. We hit Talon Gates itself or a way to find it. That's probably the most important thing for someone to know if they're like, I'm in the middle of a Breezecaller line, I have no idea what to do. Keep every single land on top, because that is just feeding mana into untapping Cradle, activating Breezecaller, activating Thrasios.
That's why I like cards like Imperial Seal, because you're on the instant speed lines anyways, and you could just Imperial Seal my Talon Gates on top, and then boom, 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 right? But I mean, it's fine.
I think it's one that's probably going back in pretty soon. We all, all 4 of us have decks that are like 3-4 cards off of each other. I think Logan's probably testing it right now.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be testing it pretty soon.
Okay, I got you.
This is the list that the primer will be attached to. We've been working on a primer that we're super excited about as well.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys like, any of you like win a major tournament, I'm gonna have you back on. Like, I think this deck's very underrated. Just these two TEVESH THRASIOS X decks, because there's other TEVESH THRASIOS decks kind of like mine that are just doing like Flood Collar Vitality shenanigans that are just winning as well. Right, they're not doing the cradle stuff, but those decks are really good. And spoiler alert, I have a top 10 decks coming out in a few weeks, and I have this deck as number 8 because of you guys and kind of what I have done in tournaments. And I think this deck is terrifying. I think it's better than the Bant strategy. It's probably not, might not be better than Rockfast right now, but I think in the long run, Sultai is just in a good place, right? Do you guys agree? Was there anything else or any cards you want to talk about before I let you guys go while we're here looking at it?
I was such a Misrise Village hater, but it has been so sick.
Oh, yeah.
Because with the way that Breeze Collar goes, Breeze Collar is the only spell you have to put on the stack, if that's how you're winning the game, right? Let's say you had your Thrasios earlier, you have your creatures, right? You're ready to go. Breeze Collar is the only thing you have to put on the stack. You're already making a bunch of mana. If you can make your Breeze Collar uncounterable,
speed.
It sticks.
Yeah, and
you're good to go. And then if somebody tries to interact with Breeze Collar, I fought a stack maybe 5 things high this weekend and just said, okay, I'll activate Breeze Collar on top. You have that much mana. So like making and just making sure that Breeze Collar stays safe long enough. If you want to kill it after I've made 75,000 mana, totally fine. Right? But let me get there first. We'll go back down to sorcery speed, or I'll just win on top of you.
That's so funny. I just watched Ruined Satellite. We're talking, you know that one, the cactus that makes like 10,000 mana if you attack?
Oh, the one that gets like plus 9,999 plus O.
Right. Yeah. So they were talking about, guys, that is infinite mana, because like even in Kennen, you get you infinite mana, then you finale to kill people, or you activate it to do your whole deck, or Thrasios, you activate it to draw your whole deck. That mana is only like 500-600, right? So if you kill this thing and you can only do the loop like 100 and something, it's still pretty much infinite. Like, okay, cool, yeah. I'll float Cradle 6 times. I'll have 88 mana. Like, that's infinite mana, guys. I'm going to cast this finale on 88 and win. Like, it's just that, it's that strong. That's one more thing I wanted to ask. I don't see any protection besides the counter spells. Like, normally these decks are, like, on Spellskite, or they're on the other one that gives it Shroud. So you're saying, like, you're only really playing Breeze Collar when you're manually storming or when you're winning, pretty much?
Yep.
Okay.
Other than that, we're just playing, 1-2 mana dudes and making thralls and not being the problem at the table and putting Thrasios activations on the stack.
Yeah.
And then after there was a big blowout, that's when we'll send it.
Yeah, I just want to look at some test hands before I let you guys go. So we're going last. Let's see. Rhythm, Bioman, Dark Rit, Talongate, City Brass, Mergestone. Is this a snap keep or what?
That one's tough. I probably, if that was first 7, I'm in 4th seed, I'm probably putting that
It's
back.
second 7.
Second 7?
Putting it back? Because you're last, right? You're not really turn 2 Bioman. Yeah. Alright, going to 6. Oh, this isn't bad. 2 lands, Mystic, 4 Wind, Earthcraft, 3 lands, Cloud of Fairies. Yeah. There's no way to get Cradle, right? Well, I mean, you're just doing the Thrasios game?
I think you're looking at, you really like doing an Earthcraft plan here, so you probably want to go tutor up a basic island on turn 2.
Draw a Deserted Temple.
I would guess.
Yep. Okay. I gotcha. Oh, so Breeding Pool and a Mystic?
Yeah, Breeding Pool, Mystic, and then turn 2, probably Cloud of Fairies. Or, Flooded Straight and fetch an island.
Yeah, get an island.
Damn, that's
Cloud
good.
Of Fairies and Earthcraft. And then get out a Thrasios as well.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I like that. Let's do one more. Let's see. So we are going second. Land, Wild Growth, Force and Neg, Mox Diamond, Land. Okay. Thank you, Moxfield, so much. For 5.
Thanks for the mana.
5 lands. All right, Bowman, Metamorph, Land, Forceful, Bioman, One Ring. See, these are the weird hands. You're not doing anything, but
it knew that we were recording. It knew this was really important, and it said, "Let's pump out some dog water right now."
right, go to 6. Land, crop rock.
This feels great.
Oh, man. Is that an early... Yeah, but again, what are you doing with it, though? You're going to 6, right? So get that out of here. You don't have any creatures for culling the week. Man.
I'm kind of
this is
thinking you
rough.
probably bottom the Boseiju here.
Okay.
Or one of the other lands. And then
A
you
little
can
bit of
pitch the
protection.
Retraction Helix to the Chrome Mox.
Okay, draw a diamond.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just
This at
awkward.
least, we hit a creature, or we go turn 1 Thrasios, sack the Thrasios to get turn 2 TEVESH. Which,
Ooh,
I
not the
like
greatest
that,
thing
and
in the
then we
world,
can-
but
I like doing that and
Yeah.
being able to get the having the way to get the cradle afterwards as well is really nice.
Okay, I got you. And also pod composition, right? We're just looking.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea of turn 2 TEVESH, and I have a crop rot for anything that I need. Okay, all right. I'm gonna do one more because Moxfield's gay. I like it. Turn 2 Odoarov.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Ugh.
So-
God, what is happening? I hate
This
these.
is gonna sound really funny, but I actually think this might be keepable because you have
all the
some
interaction.
counter spells and you have this town ain't big enough to.
Basher
maybe-
Remora back to your hand.
I think it's something that could. I don't know if it's keepable, but it's
Okay.
worth at least thinking about.
First
with that
first
card.
7 going second. Yeah, I mean it's just this is just a normal play Remora, pay for Remora, probably pay for Remora twice, and then untap with 10 cards and do my game plan, I guess.
I mean, if you want to talk about Wishclaw too, this town's great
Yeah.
with Wishclaw.
Yeah, you're drawing a
right.
bunch of
I'll crack my
lands.
Wishclaw,
Yeah.
and then this town it back to my hand, and then play Wishclaw again.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this deck doesn't want to interact like that. I have 4 pieces of interaction for the first 3 turns, but it's
That's
like.
more-
Probably the
that's
most
more than I
interaction
see
we've
in
ever
some-
seen.
But I'm not doing anything though, right? Like I don't have any creatures. All right, one more. Fuck Moxfield. All right, that one doesn't count. Let's go 3rd. All right, so Arcane Signet, Dialogue 10, Land, Bioman, Ewit, Trainer, Land.
If I saw a way to make 2 mana on turn 1, this would be the
So good,
snappiest
yeah.
keep of all time.
Oh my god, yeah, because you have Bioman. Yeah.
And I think if we look at the pod and we see that we're not super fast, I would risk
Where's this?
keeping a hand
It's the
like
first
this.
7
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah.
If that Arcane
I
Signet was a
saw-
Chromox. Oh.
Oh, if that was a Chromox, this would be amazing.
All right, let's go to second 7. Okay, Gemstone, Halfling, 1 land is Gemstone, Breeze Caller. We don't want to see Breeze Caller opening hand, right?
Not really. Not unless you are, you have the other 6 cards to go per. You can go runner, breeze caller, shake my hand, but typically it doesn't work out that way.
I don't think this is that far off. Just purely, you want to finding this extra 1 land can be even pretty relevant because you have the Springheart and Nantuko to be able to get to the bodies for Breeze Caller and having the natural order.
Yeah, whenever land enters, you may pay 1 to green, test a creature, you do create cover that creature. Okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so this
if
isn't
we
bad.
drew Misty
It's-
Rainforest before Forest, I would just go
Boom, boom.
tap Gemstone, Delated Halfling, play Nantuko,
Yeah.
play Fetch, trigger, make an insect, fetch, make an insect,
Yep.
Damn.
and then I'm a cradle away from a million mana.
Well,
Yeah.
from winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature's Rhythm and Overar's Recolor. Yeah, all we need is a cradle. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna fuck with my TEVESH list after this. All right, so go ahead and end this. Any now you can see my face. Any last words for anybody sleeving this up or?
Ben, what do you got?
I think last word, kind of one main piece of advice is that you can push a lot earlier and in a lot more of a resilient way than you might think so. So it might feel like, oh, I have a tutor and a creature I don't want to push right now because what if someone has a counterspell? Well, Nature's Rhythm, if someone has a counterspell, you go again next turn.
Yeah.
You can just constantly put wins on the stack, and that's one of my favorite things about this deck.
Yeah, it's the resiliency, it's the access to tutors. It's like I have not had this much fun playing Magic since I had Dockside Extortionist resolving. Like I
Really?
will be one of the copers that misses Dockside so
Me too.
much. Activating Breeze Caller to untap a Cradle gives me that same rush as cloning a Dockside, flickering a Dockside. Right? It's we like mana, we like cards.
Yeah.
And this deck gives you both of those in spades and puts those consistent early, middle, and late game wins on the stack.
Resiliency and inevitability.
Yeah.
I agree. Just playing this deck just generally, even without the crazy cradle stuff, that's what the deck is. It's in sultai. It doesn't care. It'll go late game. Love a late game. It would go mid game. I cooked so many people. I went to Charlotte. I cooked so many people with this deck. I was just like, Seabar Muse, you don't kill the Seabar Muse. There's no way I'm losing this game ever.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's about all we have. Thank you guys again. I want you guys back on this. Go to a big tournament. Let's put this fucking deck on the map, bro. Like, fuck Rog Thras. Fuck dog shit. Dog Thras. Let's fucking put the goddamn Tentacle Man and Barnacle Boy on the fucking map. Let's fucking...
Absolutely.
That would be sick. That's the plan. 2025, 2026. Big tournament result out of the sultai pile.
I'm so ready, bro. I'm so ready. All right, that's it. Y'all have a good day. Subscribe. All their stuff is down below. Oh, yeah. Do you guys want to plug anything?
Find me on Moxfield, T Mallard. Find me on X, T Mallard. Find me on TikTok, where I haven't posted a TikTok in like 25 years.
We just revamped our X on here, so I'll make sure I follow you. I'll put you guys down here once I post it in a few weeks. But all right, guys, happy Memorial Day.
Ben, where are you at? Where can we find you?
Gone.
I got X at ZippyMTG, ZHIPPY.
Zippy.
And Moxfield, the same thing, but without the MTG.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, and I'll put everything down below. They'll be able to click you guys after watching this. So, all right, guys, we're out. Thanks again.
Sick.
See ya.
Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Peace.